What's up, everybody? Life of an Average Joe podcast here. Sorry for the weird intro, but they're doing some construction like again, and this is the thing. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing, but they're doing construction just over there outside my one window. I went to the other area to record, and it's even louder. And I know you guys won't be able to hear this, but this is so, it's like so distracting for me. I can hear it. And God, I just, anyway, so I'm here and it's Wednesday and it's a brand new show and I'm excited about it. Once again, I called an audible, guys. And I pushed the show back. I pushed the show back for the right reason, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because I think there's something that I've got to personally get off my chest that I've talked about over the years. I've had private conversations about. I've made it pretty known um, where I stand on things in life. It's not like I really hide it. There's some things I choose not to talk about because who cares, you know? But this is one. This is one that really after Sunday's Super Bowl performance, and I'm not talking about the game because look, I got no dog in that fight. The Lions weren't there, so I don't care. Um, I don't like Kansas City. Could care less about Philadelphia. Matter of fact, the only team that I had any connection with in Philly was the Sixers. I was a big Allen Iverson fan, but I also had other connections that kind of had me, in a way, rooting for them, even though I'm Pistons fan. There's a lot of history there, and we'll let it go. But I don't care about Philly. I don't care about the Eagles. I don't. They won a Super Bowl. It was a boring game that I didn't even watch, really. If you're an Eagles fan, great. You know, if you're a Kansas City fan, dude, chill out. You already got a couple. Lions have more reason to be upset, okay? I'm not saying we should have been there, but we should have been there. We didn't get there because we lost. We didn't do a couple things. We had injuries. A better team beat us that day. I mean, you can't get more specific than that, you know? This cat, on the other hand, is going to really piss me off right now because he's attacking my feet. And I told you guys that he propped open the door. Watch this. I'm going to get rid of him. Hey, Roscoe, get out of here. Sprinkle a little water on him. And I love that cat, but he's been napping on his little elevated platform all day, all morning. And then I come in here to record, set up. I got my own little private Idaho. I had to move some things around. Um, as you can see, I ripped off one of the couple of the eggshells because I'm pushing it on the other side. I think the other side's going to be better. And then he starts attacking me. Anyway, but I don't care about the Super Bowl. I mean, I just don't. Whatever, man. We'll go for it next year. You know? I mean, even from a sports perspective, it was like it's just boring. I mean, unless you're an Eagles fan, right? But even as an Eagles fan, you're like, oh my God, like we dominated that team, which is cool. I mean, you're not going to be mad that you won the Super Bowl. You're not going to be like, oh, I wish it was a closer game. No, you're not. Anyway, that being said, all I cared about, number one, was Kendrick. Number two, commercials. And that's it. And having a good time with my son. That's what I cared about. And I did all those three things, checked off the list. We had a blast. It was great because, you know, all day was leading up to that moment. We hardly played video games that day, which is awesome. I'm not a big video game guy, but he's in that phase, you know. He's got his VR headset. It's still a little too tight on him, and he's stubborn. And when I go to adjust it, he's like, it's fine. And then he takes it off. He's like, well, Dad, I can only play for a little bit because it hurt my eyes. And I'm like, so anyway, but he's getting there. He's getting there. So he played that for maybe like 20 minutes. And then we didn't play video games at all. We drew some awesome stuff. We played with his guys. We watched music videos. We played with us, you know, like he calls it playing with us. Even though like we're playing with his guys, he calls it playing with us. So imagination time. We did chess. Like, we had fun. I made buffalo wings. We were drinking Japanese sodas. And then we had all these different flavored Takis. So we tried the hot Takis. And like, then I made meatloaf. That was his choice. That's fine. We had hummus. We had veggie platter. We had red velvet cake. And then we just were ready for Kendrick, you know. And we got to Kendrick and it was electrifying. He was tired. He was getting exhausted, but it was electrifying. Like I was, you know, I was dancing I'm dancing right now, you know. I was dancing in the living room. He was dancing. Like, it was an awesome moment. And then we shut the game off and then we played a little bit more, watched some Bluey, read him a book, and he went to bed. And then I proceeded to watch Kendrick like 3 more times, you know. And then I was on social media and doing all this. This is not an episode about Kendrick Lamar. This is not an episode dissecting his performance. I could do that. This is not an episode that is just strictly focusing on that. But I want to acknowledge a couple things just from a fan's perspective and a fan of hip hop and a fan of Kendrick and everything. Kendrick is a genius. Okay? Pulitzer Prize winner, English fan, poetry, the way that how he delivers his story, he's a storyteller. He told us he was going to tell us a story. He's always been an advocate for the culture. He's always been an advocate for the Black Americans out there. Black, period, but Black Americans. Always, 100%. Nothing's, he doesn't hide that, and he shouldn't hide that. There are songs that he does, and there's songs that artists do that I can't relate to as Brandon Rivera, white dude, right? If we're going to simplify things, let's simplify it. There's songs I can't relate to. I didn't grow up in Compton, okay? I didn't. I'm not black. I know it's a shocker, guys, right? Like, I know, like, surprise. I'm not, okay? I can still appreciate who he is as an artist, where he came from, and I can learn something. And I think that if you can sit there and learn something through music, learn something through a story, learn something through a movie, a lecture, a class, like learning anything from a different experience and forming a perspective and broadening your horizons is possibly the greatest weapon you could ever have. Ever. Okay, so that's who I am, right? On a fan's perspective for hip hop, just looking at hip hop in general, you don't have to relate to the song to appreciate it. You don't have to. You can relate to it on a simple level of just what he's doing, looking at how he flows, what words he uses, the bars, double entendres, like everything. You can peel across the layers. Going even one further from the fact that maybe you are just entertained by one of the biggest rap beefs in history with Drake and Kendrick, and how it's escalated and just, you know, looking at it from that perspective, dude, then the Super Bowl thing was for you because you got it. You got his ex-girlfriend, walking on his grave. Okay. You got Kendrick teasing what he's going to do with the biggest song that came out of last year. 7 months, I think, 7+ months. #1 rap song, Not Like Us. And all the words. And then you got the question of, is he going to do it? That's a very little question because I think we all knew he was going to do it in some fashion. I think the way that he did it was probably the best way possible. It made it it appeased the fans. It appeased, it got his message out. It appeased all the executives that are sitting there fighting for him. But also, the way he did it and how he teased it throughout the entire performance, which wasn't just focused on this song. It wasn't just focused on the beef with Drake. He did it perfect. Let us say what you're going to say. Drop that A minor. Okay? Look in the camera. Say, Drake, I've been doing it all day. Everything about it. Cool. You got it. But the performance was a message, was a historical moment in not only rap history, hip hop history, Kendrick's history, in history. And I'm not going to break it down. There's plenty of videos that do that. Everything from Uncle Sam to the stage, to what he said in between, to the lyrics, to his song choice, to the way he put those songs in his set, to the dancers, to the change of scenery. I could go on. And you always expect people after the show, any performance, from the Grammys to the Super Bowl halftime show to movies, to not like it. I mean, social media has made it a career, in a sense, out of people just going on there to hate on something, going on there to not open their minds, to not open for discussion, just to come out and do the basic words. The basic, I hated it. CGI looks bad. Marvel sucks. Disney sucks. Superman sucks. Star Wars sucks. Anybody to clickbait, anybody to get an opposite. We all say we love something. Somebody's going to come out to be like, you know what? I know you love that bunny, that little baby bunny that's pink and was born pink and cured cancer, but I hate it. I got to tell you, I hate it. There's always somebody out there. There's always some, and it doesn't matter why they're doing it. There's just one of those people. The railroad spikes. They're the car chase, man. you know, they're that 5 stars in GTA, man, or 4 stars, however, when the cops are all coming after you. They're that person. And you got to ignore it. You got to figure out if you're going to choose to engage it. And we're all human. So sometimes we do engage those things. But I have to tell you, and this is hard. This is going to be hard for some of you to hear. Some of you aren't going to agree with me. Some of you are going to probably stop listening to me. That's fine. I care less. I'm 46-year old. Do you think I care? I am tired. God, and I would say it's an age thing. Part of it is there's a certain age group on the white community, the community I'm in, I guess, but I'll get back to that in a minute. It's not just an age thing. Social media has made it easy for people to say racist crap. They feel very confident hiding behind their profile. Even if it shows a picture of them, their family, even if it gives us information about their job, they feel very confident because ultimately what's going to happen? You're not going to get banned from an app. I mean, Kanye. And nowadays, you're definitely not going to get banned for an app because Meta has essentially bent over, in a sense, to take it because they went too far one way and started banning everybody and censoring everybody. They wouldn't let anybody have conversations. Now they're going to go far the other way and just keep taking it. So I've gotten warnings from Instagram and TikTok on things I haven't even said, like things that weren't even bad. Like I said, look at this granny dance, and I got flagged. Oh, I mean, they appealed it and I won, but so anyway, but they feel confident. And ultimately, if they get banned, they'll create another account. Like, it doesn't matter. And I would sit there and say, hey, Brandon, you're looking at, just the vocal few. No, no, because I'm loud, right? I've screamed some things. On a simplistic level, if I really like something, I promote it, I push it, I talk about it, right? I had a guy that I really like, and we had a great conversation on TikTok. He's talking about why Kendrick didn't work for some people. But he was missing the point that I was trying to make. Not that I was trying to convince him to be on this side, but I was trying to get the point across. Like, I'm okay if you come out and go, man, that's just not really my music. I didn't really like it. I don't get it. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to like everything. Or somebody coming out and being like, yeah, you know what? I just like Drake songs. I just want to dance. I don't want to have to peel back layers, even though you could have danced for Kendrick songs. God knows I did. That's cool. Man, I don't care about either of them. I'm more of a this person fan. Okay. Like, again, cool. Nobody, that there's nothing wrong with that. Even on the older generation, people my age, there are people my age. Granted, I'm probably different than most 46-year-olds out there. Not that 46 is that old, but there are people my age that are like, nah, man, I'm not into that music. But, my kid listens to it. Ew. No, I'm just judging. Like, but that's fine. Like, and there are people older that didn't grow up on hip hop, that are older, that are like, man, I didn't understand it, but I thought it was cool. Or, hey, man, I don't know much about the beef, but wow, now that you told me this. Or, yeah, it was okay. It didn't bother me. It was whatever. Everybody's opinion, that's you. There's no problem with that. Saying your opinion is fine too. Not that anybody needs to hear it. Not that anybody needs to hear my opinion. Nothing wrong with that, right? But there's a majority. Oh, this was trash. Worst halftime ever. Worst. Worst. I'll let you think about that for a minute. An abomination. Couldn't understand him at all. Typical. Super Bowl halftime show went thug. Here we go. Oh, more rap crap. I mean, made me want to vomit. I muted it. Didn't even watch it. Well, then why are you commenting? Didn't watch it. Super Bowl is trash. Okay. Halftime's been garbage. They need to take it away from Jay-Z. Like, non-stop. And those are very generic statements. Worst halftime ever. Worst halftime ever, Anyway, that's a bold statement when you go back and look at how many people have done halftime shows. I mean, Maroon 5 was trash in a bucket. Maroon 5 was garbage. That was a horrible halftime show. And I think the majority of the people agree on there, except for the people that said worst halftime show ever. That's not my opinion that Maroon 5 was bad. That was like widely talked about amongst every age demographic and race. Let's throw that out there. It was bad. I'm not saying it was a bad choice. The performance was a bad. I understand why they got picked. Black Eyed Peas was pretty garbage too, guys. But they're pretty garbage. But again, I understand why they got picked. Rolling Stones was bad because the Rolling Stones really haven't put on a good concert since they were in their 20s. Let's be real. We can sit there and say they're iconic, cool. We can sit there and say that their music is iconic, okay, and we know songs. But they're not good and has nothing to do with them being old. Tom Petty's great. Tom Petty sounded great, and it was boring as could be because Tom Petty doesn't rock. He rocks, makes great music, and does whatever, but doesn't put on a show. So my point is, the comments that are being said are not being said about the performance. They're being said about the person. They're being said about the genre, and they're being said because some of them got what the message was and didn't like it. Some of them didn't get the message because they can't see past the color of this person's skin. And some of them didn't want to get the message, and all they heard was the word hip hop and rap and tuned out. Because ultimately, what this boils down to is you're a racist. And I'm not saying that if you did not like the performance, that makes you a racist. I'm not saying that. But I find it fundamentally interesting and crazy that 98.9%, and I'm just making that number up, I could probably do some research on that, of the comments that I said of trash, garbage, whatever, was the same demographic. White. Does that mean white people don't like hip hop? No. Does that mean that there's certain people out there that don't, that ran to Facebook, that ran to Instagram, if they have a TikTok, and I say that, who knows, just so they could spew their hatred? Because you didn't add anything to the conversation. If you said, this is why I think it's the worst, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whether I agree with you or not, you put somewhat of thought into it. But all you're saying is worse or worst. That's all you're saying. And then I look at the pictures and I see a white woman in her 50s a white woman in her 40s, a white woman in her 60s, a white man in his 50s, a white man in his 60s, a white man in his 30s, a white man with a Trump hat on, another white man with a Trump hat on, a white woman with a Trump hat on, a white man holding up the deer he just shot, a white man with American flag behind him and an American badass Kid Rock shirt on. Do you see what I'm getting at here, guys? This is not Brandon making up. This is saying you're a racist. It's alive. Racism is alive. I know, right? Whoa. Brandon, you just blew everybody's minds. Everybody thought it was dead. No, it's alive, man. It's dead in my house because it never existed. It's dead with my friends because it never existed. We acknowledge it, but it's dead. It's not welcome. What are we doing? We're replacing one word with thug. Brandon, what are you saying? What I'm saying is that white America needs to wake up. And people like me and people like my friends and people I work with and the great people in this white America, white community, white whatever, yeah, we need to put those people in check more. We're not going to leave it to Kendrick to do this message. We're not going to leave it to other people to do our dirty work and clean out our garbage. You sit here and you spew this nonsense. And I saw it. And I got a message on my page, my Life of an Average Show podcast.com page about it that was directly sent to me, not posted as a comment. I'll get to that in a minute. Comment saying they need to throw this rap out with the rest of the garbage. These thugs got to go. Say what you want to say. Say the word. Say it. Because Kendrick didn't come out there dressing like a thug, mind you. His dancers, which were awesome, were fully covered. You think that was by accident? SZA didn't come out there grinding all over the place. She sang her heart out, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. Serena Williams might have showed some legs sea walking. She shows less when she plays tennis. My point is, this performance wasn't what you call your typical black hip hop performance. Oh, they're just grinding on each other. They're half naked out there. This isn't Sexy Red looking like she's going to jump on a pole on a Tuesday. Yeah, I said it because Sexy Red's got to be the dumbest name ever. Number two, she ain't sexy. But do her. I don't care. I'm just saying. So they did that for a reason. Throw these thugs out. These thugs got to go. I can't tell you how many times I saw that. You are doing the thug wink. That's what you're doing. Oh, they're just a bunch of thugs. Typical. Typical what? Finish the sentence. Typical what? What does that mean? Typical NFL performance, typical bad sound on halftime, typical what? What is, I need the rest of it. It's not a Mad Lib. I'm not going to fill in my own. If you're ballsy enough in your wheelchair to sit there and comment the way you comment, say it. I'm not saying I agree with you, but if you're so ballsy enough, you're so big enough, say it. Make the statement. Oh, we got to throw our trash out. No, white people, we have to throw our trash out. Well, look at the statistics. It's another one. What does that mean? So every now and then I would engage. Why? I don't know. I'm up anyway. Statistics about what? On who watches the Super Bowl. Well, 42% of them are African American or black. If you 42% of the men that watch the Super Bowl are black. I don't. What statistic? And that's what I said to him. So it's almost half. Well, that's still only 42% of the people that wanted this performance. So you're assuming that you have to be black to appreciate this performance. Got it. That performance clearly wasn't for us. Okay. There's, yeah, I got you. There's a lot of things that performance was. Kendrick has layers to everything he does. That's who the man is. He's a Pulitzer Surprise winner. Surprise winner. I don't know what the surprise was. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. You think there's not some deep meaning to it? It was also a middle finger to the divided to the current sitting president. It was also showing how our country is divided and who was standing in the middle. Kendrick. It's also saying, stop, wake up, stop being divided. Yeah, it was also pushing the black community forward. Why? I don't know. Not crazy. I don't know. Why would he want to do that? So, going back to the statement that this moron said on Facebook, unfortunately, I was on there. I saw some stuff on Twitter, of course, or X, not just Kanye's crap. 42%. So you're saying that because I wasn't black, I can't enjoy it. What about the other people that enjoyed it beyond Taylor Swift dance and beyond silence? So, okay. I mean, that's who you're dealing with. I saw a woman on TikTok. She had to be younger than me. She sounded a little drunk. I asked her if she had a 30 pack of Busch Light Peach, but she didn't respond, so I don't know. This is ruining my Super Bowl party. I have people leaving right now. I'm watching my mom knit at the kitchen table. That doesn't sound like much of a Super Bowl party anyway, so I don't think you should blame Kendrick for that. And then she shows two people walking out the door. They're probably walking out the door because tomorrow's Monday. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what this is. What message was he trying to get? Was this a Kendrick and Drake thing that I don't understand? You know, every time they get these artists, boom, there it is. These artists. Why don't you say what you really want to say? You were going to replace artists with people, but you do that little wink. These artists, these thugs, like this part of some secret club. Yo, you don't even have to wear the white hats anymore, or not the white hats. You don't have to wear the white sheets anymore. Everybody knows it's out in the open. Okay, it's there. And we, me, white, need to stop having other people do our dirty work. Take out our own trash. Call them out. Don't let it slide. Because that don't play with me anymore. You know, I'm teaching my son, and I'm watching him grow up, and I am breaking things down to him as best as I can for a 7-year-old to understand. That's not how we roll. I'm teaching him love. I'm teaching him acceptance of people. I'm teaching him that not every disagreement has to end in a fight. I'm teaching him to stand up for himself. I'm teaching him to stand up for others. I'm teaching him to look out for the people that need help and be that advocate for your friends. Be that advocate for people that you love, whatever. I don't care if he's black. I don't care if he's Asian. I don't care if he's blind in a wheelchair, if it's a girl, if you're gay, if you're straight, you take care of them. You don't have to agree with everything. See, that's the thing that is so hard to get through these people's head. You do not have to agree with everything. I don't agree with everything that anybody says. But that doesn't mean that I hate you. That doesn't mean that I'm coming after you. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to classify you by the color of your skin. What are we doing? It is 2025. Okay? It's not 1842. It's not 1846. It's not the 1900s anymore. And you act like that these atrocities that were committed on our land based on a lie were so long ago, they really weren't. So they're happening yesterday. But I'm tired of seeing it. It's the same group. And then they add more. When I see people that could be my age or a little bit younger making those comments, and then I see their well, who would you like to see in the Super Bowl? And you don't respond to me? Who? Okay, so it's really not about the performance. It's just about Kendrick being black. I got it. It's about a black moment in Black History Month. You don't celebrate Black History Month? Okay. I've got black friends that sit there and don't really agree with Black History Month. They got some valid points. I respect it. That's their feeling. Not all of us have to be Target where we sit there and put up black owned products, Black History Month, only once a year, just so we can get that. Hey, look at us. Some people can do it all year. I mean, just appreciate everybody. Some people can support black owned businesses all year. Some people can support woman owned businesses all year. You don't got to wait for Women's Appreciation Month or whatever that is. You don't got to wait for it. So I appreciate that about teaching my son all those things. Meanwhile, I've got grandma over here who turns out not to be a grandma, who turns out to be 50, so 4 years older than me, but she looking like grandma. Probably from that weird part of Oklahoma that looks like this, where I'm convinced Sasquatch is. But anyway, coming at me. Don't act like you understood a word he said. Oh, okay, I won't act like that. Hey, Drake, I understood everything he said. So I responded, was it the sound? Because, yeah, there were some definite sound issues, and I don't think it was his fault. The sound was his voice coming out. Okay. Do you just not listen to rap, hip hop? I have. Okay, here we go. Let's peel back the cholesterol and see. I just don't appreciate it because it was just all gang related. Anybody see Kendrick throwing up sets? Did I miss? Okay. Um, those are gang colors, They're also the American flag colors, which I guess ironically could be a gang too. And we could dive into that history one day if you want me to teach you that. But anyway, so I said, what specifically besides the sound or whatever, the voice, what didn't you like? You weren't entertained at all, even from like a passerby? I don't listen to thug music. Boom, 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 boom. There, where's Leo? Where's Leo? That's it. You said it. You don't listen to thug music. But what's scary about this whole thing is that I've heard it talked about so much. They bashed Rihanna last year. That was boring. She shouldn't be out there in scantily clad clothes. She was pregnant, still looked beautiful. Well, not last year, 2 years ago. Pregnant, still looked beautiful. She wasn't scantily clad. And who says that pregnant women can't go out and sing? Oh, I could be at the Super Bowl. I better not get pregnant this year. Complained about Snoop and Dre and Eminem. It's just a big old hip hop show. Yeah, even Eminem, he's over there out there doing, black stuff. Got it. There it is. Circle back. They can't appreciate, and even if they don't understand it, and even if they realize that the message is bigger than them, and it's not about them, and the music isn't just about them, and it's not just they're not just there for their entertainment. They're not going to bring out Bob Seger just for you. They're not going to bring out well, nobody's bringing out Randy Travis, but they're not going to bring out Jelly Roll. Well, they wouldn't like that either. So because he looks too. Who do you want? Who like the narcissistic, privileged, racist way of thinking has got to be rooted out. And it's never going to. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, it's never going to until we're not on this earth anymore. It doesn't mean that we give up and say, well, racists are racist. No, white people, get rid of your folks. And I don't want to hear, well, they grew up in a different time. Cool. My son's growing up in a different time too. It doesn't mean I don't teach him about things I did. It doesn't mean I don't teach him about things I learned. It doesn't mean he doesn't, you know, he didn't know that there were real phones other than cell phones until he saw one. Doesn't mean I teach him about the OG Nintendo. I know I'm making that comparison to something much bigger, but he grew up in a different time. Cool. Well, when he gets older, if cars are no longer around and I'm still driving one, I'm probably still going to teach him how to drive because it's important. Educate. Educate your parents, educate these, the people that want to be educated and want to listen. If it's truly a generational gap, an age thing, then let's bring it into perspective and help them understand, just as they would help us understand what's going on in their life back in the day. I didn't fight in Vietnam. I know a lot of people who did. I can learn a lot from them. You think I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, well, that was a long time ago. I don't need to hear about that. I don't want to talk about that. No, because I'm learning something besides history. I'm learning a lot. So yeah, back then it was a different time. Didn't make it right. So teach them. If they don't want to be taught and they just want to stay in this lane of obvious racism, then you know what? Time to go. You can cut off people. You can cut off family members if they are toxic to you. Kendrick said that too, by the way. I would cut off anybody if you don't fit into my life. I don't care who you are. Blood, boy, girl, coworker, you're done. I will get rid of you fast. And I won't be mean about it. My days of vengefulness and hatred are pretty much over. Although Kendrick is inspiring to be so petty against somebody, but I can't do that. I'm going to let him do that stuff. Are over. So I'll cut you off and walk away and wish you the best and deuces. But you're not going to eat dinner at my table. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to sit there and put on a happy face. And if you want to be in my kid's life, no matter who you are, friends, family, whatever, you better represent positivity and you better be a positive influence and you better be good. And if you make a mistake, that's fine because God knows I have. And you make a bad choice, again, God knows I have. You better fix it and you better give him the example. Because if you're toxic and you're around my kid, I will cut you off faster than you could possibly ever imagine. And that goes for all the racist comments out there. My buddy, if my buddy is hanging around and I'm like, hey, bro, man, watch what you say around my son, and he doesn't respect that, get out of my door. Go. The door's right there. I've proven that I don't need friends. Okay? I don't need them all. I can have two and be happy. You're talking to a guy that took 4 days off of work and didn't see anybody except for, the obvious kid. You think I matter? You think that matters to me? You're talking to somebody who, in 4 days, I barely text anybody because I don't care. So you disrespect my house, my son, my morals, although they've been, like this at times, his morals and his growth, get out, dude. If he's hanging out with a friend and I find out his parents are doing something I don't like, guess what? He ain't hanging out over there anymore. It's done. It's game over. You can do that. I'm not going to give these people a pass anymore for their racist comments. And it's proven, man. I should have took screenshots and just scrolled. Oh, Brandon, just ignore it. No, the time to ignore it is over. Call them out, block them, report them. I reported people. I blocked that person that sent me the message on my podcast page. This person said, now, I'm assuming maybe it's a troll. Maybe it's somebody pulling a prank. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody that hates me. I don't know. It came from an email address I didn't recognize because I have that sign up there for emails. And I have it where you can leave a message, and then I usually approve those messages. Like I approve everything before I post it to the site. It's not that I'm trying to censor, but I'm trying to censor. Okay. I don't need somebody on there dropping F-bombs on me at 2:00 in the morning and I wake up and I got to find that. I need to be able to see that. And then you get spam links too. Like, I can boost your podcast if you pay me $100. I can do, like, I got to censor, filter, be a proper term. Because if you don't like me and you say something about my show and you don't like it, I'll probably still post it because I don't care. There's a way to do it. This person said, so I've listened to your show recently. It came up on a social media app. I saw a clip. Okay. Didn't tell me what show, didn't tell me. I thought it was good, but seeing your clips about the halftime performance, seeing your clips and being so obsessed with Kendrick, I'm not obsessed, dude. I'm not obsessed. Um, it's clear to me I can't listen to your show anymore. You have embarrassed your own race. Hey, Drake. Not hey, Drake. But that's what I would do. That's essentially what he said. Hey, Drake. Say, Drake. Um, you've embarrassed your own race. Let me pause right there. I've embarrassed a lot more than my own race, guys. Okay, like there's some videos out there that I hope Luke never sees, at least until he's older. Um, you've embarrassed your own race. I thought you had some good points until I saw what you did on Kendrick. I'm assuming it's a TikTok thing because I did most of my stuff on there before that disappears. Um, so I'm not listening to you anymore if you're going to support a young like that. Thug. Okay. I blocked it. I blocked it. Spam, block, nothing. Problem is, I searched for emails on the Instagram and all. I can't. This guy could still find me. And if he does find me on TikTok and says something, I'll block him there, because you're not going to sit here and get away with that. Now, I've gone through some back channels and I've got people trying to figure out who this email belongs to. And if that's the case, I still have the email. I still have the address. I'll be happy to post that on social media and let TikTok do its thing. But I couldn't believe that because I will be honest with you. That one shocked me a little. Not that racism is alive, because I've said it's alive. Not that these weird trailer park, Oklahoma, sorry, Oklahoma, I'm picking on you, Floridian, Confederate, tattooed, Aryan Nation people that said what they said shocked me. I'm shocked that somebody took time out of their day to email somebody they don't know or message somebody they don't know because I posted something you didn't like about an artist based on this. And again, this could be BS. This could be somebody else messing with me. I'm just saying, let's take it for face value, okay? For what it appears to be. That one shocked me. I embarrassed my race. Well, what race am I? What race are you? You weren't just, I'm an American. That's not okay. Well, that's not a race. It's not, guys. American's not a race. You, I mean, were your parents born here? Where'd their parents come from? Because unless you're like indigenous, 100%, I don't want to talk to you. You're not American. That's the real Americans. Were you born in Mexico? Because then you're not American. Just because you are American, you're not American. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? I'm American. Oh, great. Here we go. I'm an American. You can be proud of that. There's people living in Canada that are Canadian. They're not born there. Like, is people following what I'm saying here? I'm not crazy, right? So let's not sit there and. I got buddies that moved to Italy. They're not Italian. I don't know what to tell you. Um, they live in Italy, Italian by proxy, but they're not Italian. feel like I'm taking crazy pills. But this is what I'm talking about. Silence is not golden in this matter. Take out your own garbage. Don't be sitting here talking about when you see a crime statistic and it happens to be a black person that you're like, well, typical. Really? Do we want to talk about school shootings, mass murderers? Like, no? Okay. Why don't we talk about this garbage old lady here who's sitting there banging and beating the drum to this is the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever, and really peel back the layers on what she's saying? That's garbage. You don't think that the black community has sat there and said, hey, we are fighting for this. We are going for this. We want this to be, we want this statistic down. We want to have better this, that. You don't, we can do the same thing. We want these people out of, stop embarrassing me, grandma. Stop donating your social security check to the KKK, grandma. Get off. Who told you how to use social media? Just stay over in Facebook or go to Truth Social. And this isn't even a Trump thing. This isn't Brandon getting political. I'm just saying, go in X where they don't eliminate anything. Get away from my stuff. But we need to call them out. Dude, I reported like 5 people for harassment and comments. Nothing probably happened, but you keep those things coming. You keep reporting, you keep firing away. That's how you get rid of the garbage. Luckily, I started a few things, lit that little fuse, walked away, and I saw other people coming on, helping me out. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. I did my part. But we got to stop with this nonsense that everything is a race dividing conversation, and we need to come together and divide. Like people were sitting there talking about Kendrick. He's race dividing. What? You can't uplift your people because it's a race division? What are we doing here, dude? If my son grows up and goes to a college I don't really like, and I cheer for him and cheer for his school, am I bailing on Michigan State? No. I mean, I know I'm trying to make it simple because there's some simple-minded idiots out there. It's exhausting. So, that being said, it's time. I'm calling it out. It's been time. It's long past due. Let's go, white people. Don't make me look bad out there. And I'm with Kendrick on everything. Okay? I'm supporting. Drake's a baby. It's over. It's game over. But that's not the game over he was talking about. Some of you won't get it, and some of you won't even listen to it, to understand it and appreciate it and respect it and maybe be a supporter. I don't know. Anyway, I'm out. That's it. Sorry for picking on Oklahoma. Not really. And yeah, I could say more, but I'm not. I got to go. See you guys next week. Appreciate everything. Drop your comments. This is a big conversation, so I'd love to hear from you guys.